Welcome to the Our Hometown News podcast, where we discuss news, events, and tech tips for publishers in the local media industry. You can contact us at our website, www.our-hometown.com, to learn more. Now, for this week's news.
Our Hometown Virtual Conference, getting started with audio podcasts. Our hometown president and CEO Matt Larson will be hosting another special virtual conference on Thursday, October 29th at 12 p.m. Eastern, where he will be joined by Tom Lapis of the Henrico Citizen to discuss getting started with podcasts. Podcasts are just one example of interactive media that a newspaper publication can produce to enhance their offerings to readers. Reading an article online is okay, but listening to an article with a tool like audio articles or, better yet, listening to a podcast with a host that highlights the major headlines of the day really takes the website experience to the next level. Tom and his staff have now launched 3 successful podcasts in the past year and have the process down to a science. Join Matt and Tom later this month to learn about the time commitment, the financial commitment, and the payoff when it comes to producing audio podcasts. Use the form below to register for this conference, and keep your eyes on our virtual conferences page for more. Our Hometown Virtual Conference, How to Increase Digital Subscriptions. Our hometown is happy to announce another virtual conference focusing on increasing digital subscriptions, slated to take place on Friday, November 13th, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. During this conference, our hometown president and CEO Matt Larson will introduce attendees to a number of simple strategies used by our customers for generating digital subscription revenue. These strategies will include ways to advertise your website in the print edition and methods for marketing digital subscriptions. Matt will also cover the benefits of using auto-renewing subscriptions to reduce the commitment needed from the buyer to manually renew each billing period, resulting in time saved for all involved. If you're interested in attending, please use the form below to register now. Otherwise, keep an eye on our virtual conferences page and consider joining us in the future. Highlight local history within your archives. Our hometown's WordPress publishing platform offers at least one often overlooked, but significant advantage over the traditional print edition: a built-in historical archive of every article ever posted to the website, fully searchable and browsable at the tap of a button. This is important for a number of reasons, but let's start with the obvious: traffic. Many newspapers already have a system in place for archiving and digitizing their printed editions, perhaps with help from an outside organization whose mission is to preserve historical records. In these cases, however, even if your print editions are successfully converted to PDFs and made available to the public online, they are often hosted on a third-party website, meaning you never reap the benefits of people reading your historical content, and neither do your advertisers. Another reason that these digital archives are so important is to preserve your publication's reputation. Many newspapers have worked for decades to carve out a niche in their community and earn the trust and respect of a loyal base of readers. Now that things are trending towards a digitally dominated publishing landscape, there may come a day when you can no longer offer a print edition, and you certainly don't want all of the hard work that you and those before you have done to be forgotten. When some new digital upstart comes to town promising to be the #1 source of news, you can point to your years and years of historical archives to prove that you're the true authority in the region. Last but not least, historical archives are simply great for content. More content usually equals more money. Many newspapers publish a This Day in History type of article where they highlight significant news events that occurred on the edition's date in past years, oftentimes going back 50 or 100 years, depending on the age of the paper. The Archbold Buckeye publishes a weekly article titled Golden Notes of Archbold's Memorable Past, which perfectly demonstrates this technique. Each week, this article contains clippings from articles published in historical editions of the Buckeye from 10, 25, 50, 75 and 100 years ago to give readers an idea of what was happening back then, and for some, maybe even spark a long-forgotten memory. You could easily search the archives already generated by your website on our platform to research past events and pull content and quotes from to create your own similar article. Our hometown's WordPress publishing platform automatically archives all articles and PDFs published to the website, and customers migrating from another service are able to import existing stories and PDFs from your past provider. If you have PDF archives you'd like imported to your website, please reach out to our hometown support team by emailing ops@ourhometown.com. How are you using interactive media for your publication? Throughout the strange year that has been 2020, our hometown, OHT, has focused on helping our customers adapt to a changing industry by hosting several virtual conferences where anyone interested can tune in and watch OHT President and CEO Matt Larson present on a wide range of topics, including informative sessions on things like paywall models and revenue strategies, as well as live demonstrations of innovative new tools available on our platform that could help ease the transition to a digitally dominated publishing world. We have a handful of virtual conferences scheduled throughout the end of the year that will focus on introducing different kinds of interactive media to visitors. Including interactive media such as audio or video on your website can really help enhance your product and make your publication stand out from competitors. Best of all, with all of the technological advances over the past several years, you can produce high-quality audio and video content at a reasonable cost. We're looking for a few publishers who are currently producing any kind of video or audio content, video news reports, video interviews, live broadcasts, podcasts, etc., that would like to join Matt in an upcoming virtual conference to discuss our processes and the impact this content has had for your brand. Even if your content is being produced for Facebook Live, YouTube, or any other third-party destination rather than your website itself, we'd still love to hear about it. Please fill out the brief form below if you think you have some tips that could help other publishers looking to get their feet wet with producing audio and video content. Adjusting notifications on forums and MemberPress events. When using our hometown's WordPress publishing platform to the fullest of its capabilities, your website may be sending out several notification emails each and every day. Notification emails are generated to alert your staff to things like subscription orders, classified orders, and submissions of anniversaries, birthdays, and obituaries. If you're hosting an event calendar, you'll also want to be notified when a new event is submitted. But what if you need to change who receives these notification emails, or add an additional email to the list? Fortunately, every system on our platform that sends out notifications includes a settings area where you can easily designate who should receive each notification. Let's start with subscription-related notifications in MemberPress. 1. MemberPress notifications. As you probably know, MemberPress is the plugin used on our platform to manage memberships, subscription orders, and several paywall-related settings that determine who can view what content. MemberPress automatically generates and dispatches emails when certain actions are performed by the user, such as placing a new order or canceling an existing subscription. Importantly, it will also send receipt notifications when payments are successfully received. You can edit all of the MemberPress notifications by navigating to the MemberPress settings page from your dashboard and selecting the Emails tab. You'll see two distinct sections, Member Notices and Admin Emails and Notices. Member Notices are notifications that are sent to readers as they create their account and subscribe, while Admin Emails and Notices are notifications that are sent to your staff. You'll notice each option has a checkbox next to it to designate whether you want that notification to be active or not, as well as an edit button where you can customize the wording and styling of the notification as needed. It usually makes sense to leave all of the notifications enabled, even if your site isn't using features like subscription upgrades/downgrades or doesn't allow readers to pause and resume their own subscriptions. For admin emails and notices, however, you may not always deem it necessary to receive some of the notifications. You'll also notice that the admin emails and notices section has a text box input labeled Admin Email Addresses. This is where you can enter one or more email addresses to receive all of the admin notifications enabled below. To enter more than one recipient, just separate the emails with a comma as shown in the screenshot above. You can also adjust the Send Mail from settings at the bottom of the page. This is where you can set how the email will appear to recipients in terms of the sender name and email you want your replies to go to. 2. Gravity Forms notifications. The other major kinds of notifications on our platform come from Gravity Forms, the plugin that all non-subscription related order forms or submission forms are built upon. This includes things like classified order forms and submission forms for anniversary announcements, birthday announcements, obituaries, etc. We've written before about creating custom forms with Gravity Forms, but in today's post we're going to assume you already have at least one form on your website. Gravity Forms allows you to select who receives notifications on a per form basis, so the best place to start is to navigate to the Forms page from on your dashboard menu and select the form you want to edit notification settings for by clicking the title. Once inside the form editor, hover over the Settings menu and choose the Notifications option. You'll notice that you're able to create more than one notification for each form, allowing you to send one notification to your staff and another, more personalized notification to the customer who has placed an order or submitted an announcement, similar to how MemberPress allows you to edit both member and admin notices, but a little different approach. Highlight whichever notification you want to adjust and click the Edit option that appears underneath. Once inside, you'll be able to edit all kinds of settings for the notification you've selected, including the recipient, send to email, from name, from email, subject, and more. You can enter more than one email to receive each notification, just like we did previously by simply separating the emails using a comma, as demonstrated in the screenshot. Gravity Forms also allows you to set the send to email using data from the submission itself, so if you've recorded the user's email address within your form, you can choose the Select a Field option and set it to the field you use to collect their email address, as shown in the customer notification screenshot above. 3. Other notifications. While MemberPress and Gravity Forms cover the vast majority of notifications generated by our system, there may be a few others you'll want to edit depending on which features and add-ons are enabled or included in your service plan. For example, if you're using our Reader Resources package, powered by GeoDirectory, you may have submission forms for users to submit things like business listings, or in some cases events. Due to some limitations with the current version of GeoDirectory, we use a third-party plugin to generate notifications for these submissions. Likewise, if you allow comments on your articles and need to be alerted when new comments come in so that you can quickly moderate them, we'll also need to set up notifications through this separate plugin. This will require some intervention from our support team to enable and configure the plugin, so please reach out to us at ops@ourhometown.com for more help setting up these kinds of notifications. Many websites on our platform are using a specialized Gravity Form submission form for event submissions rather than the GeoDirectory submission form, meaning you'll be able to edit the notifications using the process described in the Gravity Forms section above. The GeoDirectory event submission form is only used in certain circumstances. If you're unsure which one you're using, just ask us. One final kind of notification you may be looking for is a notification that alerts subscribers when their subscription is nearing expiration or has already expired. These kinds of notifications are actually called reminders, and we wrote about creating renewal reminders in MemberPress earlier this year. As always, if you have any questions or need any help with setting up your various notifications, just reach out to our support team at any time. Office Hours Recap, from Google Docs plugin to reverse publishing. Our hometown president and CEO Matt Larson hosted another session of Office Hours this afternoon, where he showed off more of our Google Docs add-on and demonstrated how it can be used in tandem with reverse publishing to improve efficiency in your existing workflow. The Google Docs add-on allows you to connect your Google Docs account with your hometown website, so that you can easily publish content directly from your Google Docs workspace to the web without having to switch between multiple platforms or copy and paste content. Many newspapers rely on Google's free word processing software to draft and edit content for both print and the web, so this add-on is a great way to streamline your production process by cutting out the middleman that would otherwise have to manually transfer all of those articles to the website or lay them out in an InDesign template. Once your articles are published to the web, you can take advantage of our reverse publishing suite to easily export all of those articles for placement in your InDesign layout for the print edition. Check out the replay below and let Matt walk you through the process and show you how much time you can save using these two tools together. Remember, our hometown customers are invited to attend office hours every week for free. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter to receive updates on each upcoming session of office hours, as well as other great content to help you get the most out of our platform. Important update for embedding social media with Embed. Facebook and Instagram are making changes to the way that content from the social networks is embedded into WordPress pages, posts, and articles. Beginning on October 24th, you will need to register a Facebook app in order to continue embedding Facebook and Instagram content directly into your posts and articles. This is because the social media giants are replacing their existing Embed functionality with new API endpoints that require an application ID and access token in order to display the content being requested. You've probably noticed that when you paste a URL to a Facebook or Instagram post into your article editor, WordPress will automatically take that URL and convert it to a format that displays the actual post content rather than just a URL. That is the magic of Embed. Unfortunately, this will no longer work after October 24th until you take the steps below to set up your site to use the new API endpoints available with Embed Plus. But don't worry. Despite all of the technical details we just went over, setting up your Facebook app is actually quite simple and takes just a few minutes. Step 1. Register a Facebook app. You'll need a Facebook account to set up your first Facebook app, so please make sure you have registered and logged in with Facebook before proceeding. Once logged in, head to the Facebook Developer section and click My Apps to view a list of your Facebook apps. Your list will likely be empty. Click Add a new app on the page or the Create App button on the menu, and when asked how you'll be using your app, select for Everything Else as the purpose. You'll be asked to enter a name and email address for your app, and once completed you'll be taken to the dashboard for your new application. Step 2. Enable Embed in your app. Once your app has been registered, you need to enable the Embed feature. On the dashboard page for your new app, scroll down to find the products list. This list contains several different features that can be used with various apps depending on what you're using the app for. For this app, all we need is the Embed feature, the very last product on the list. Click the Setup button for the Embed product. You'll be asked to confirm your selection by marking a checkbox, but once finished, Embed will be activated. Step 3. Enter additional app details. The hard part is done, but now we have to tie up some loose ends up by filling out any additional app details on the Settings basic page from your app's dashboard. Here you can add links to your privacy policy and terms of service, as well as upload an icon for your app. You can also edit the application name here and choose a category that best fits the purpose of the app. The minimum requirement to activate your app is to set the privacy policy URL and select a category for your application. Step 4. Switch app to live mode. By default, your newly created app is in development mode, meaning it cannot yet be used by the public or any third-party websites, such as your newspaper site. You'll need to first switch the application to live mode. At the top of your application's dashboard, you should see a small slider toggle next to the words in development. Simply click this slider to switch to live mode. If you haven't yet entered your privacy policy, you will see an error message prompting you to do so. Once you've successfully done this, you'll see the in development flag at the top of the screen switch to read live instead, indicating that your app is fully configured and complete. Step 5. Send us your app ID and secret. The final step is to retrieve your app ID and app secret from your basic settings page and send this to our support team using the ops@ourhometown.com email address. Navigate back to the basic settings page and you'll see these items listed prominently at the top of the page. Just copy the app ID and secret into an email and send it our way. You may need to click the Show button to display the app secret in a way that allows it to be copied. Once our staff receives this info, we can quickly enter it into the plugin settings, which will restore functionality related to embedding Facebook and Instagram posts into WordPress. If you have any questions or need further help, please reach out to our support team at any time by emailing ops@ourhometown.com.
And that's it for our weekly news. You can get more information on our website, www.our-hometown.com. Hope to see you next time.